Welcome to a video from thedigital-lifestyle.com. In this video we're going to look at this brand new Orbi network solution from Netgear. This is a high performance AC 3000 Tri-Band Wi-Fi system, mesh network system that you install in your home, and it gives you, according to Netgear, Wi-Fi, ultra fast performance Wi-Fi all around your home with no dead spots. So it looks a little different. I'm used to using extenders and little plug extenders, so this is slightly different. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to plug this in, I'll unbox it now, have a look what's in the box, then I'll plug it into my internet connection and I'll set it up and see what it can do. So in the box you have one device which effectively replaces your router, it is your router. And then you have a second device which is what they call the satellite device. These then talk to each other to give you that wide Wi-Fi spread. So rather than just having all your Wi-Fi in the whole home get to this one device wherever it is in your house, where your cable comes in or your ISP provider's box comes or whatever, where your provider's box comes from, you have these talking to each other to give you a better spread of Wi-Fi performance around the whole home. So how does it work? Well, the first thing you do, this is the router part, and you plug this into your internet connection, so out of your cable modem box or out of your Sky router or whatever you've got, into this, and then this is your network. Also, you've got 3 Ethernet ports on the back here, USB 2 port for storage, I guess, and we've got the power and the sync buttons. So the first thing I actually need to do is to plug this into the home and then place the satellite somewhere around the home to extend the range of the network. So I guess I'll put one downstairs and one upstairs. Right, I've got this plugged into my broadband router with the Ethernet cable into the back. I plugged the other Orbi in upstairs, and then now we need to connect and set this up. So from my phone I can see the Orbi network with the SSID, so I'm going to connect to that. And it's going to ask me a password, which is on there. So I've connected now, and I've got the sort of config screen, so I'm going to step through that to accept all the conditions, etc. So I'm doing this on the phone, but you could do it on a laptop, tablet, whatever you want. It just needs internet access. It's not a special app or anything. So it says it's detected an existing router or gateway. That's correct, my Sky box. So that's where the network's coming from. So it's going to put it into router mode, which is fine. So what that means is I'm going to get a new network with this. It's not going to be passed through to, it's not going to be just like a Wi-Fi extender, it's actually going to create its own network with internet access. So I've connected up now. So it says now set up the Orbi satellite. So it's now checking to see the satellite, and I've got that plugged in upstairs. So on here now it's coming up saying Orbi satellite detected, set that up. Right, so now I can do my admin account. So I'm going to set a username and password. There's some security questions which you've got to put in, as well as your password. So I've entered those now, and it's showing me there the SSID and password which match those. At this stage you would change that, call it your own network, change the password to something more secure, and that's done. So then it's showing me the status of these. It's actually downloading new firmware. So I'm going to let it do that before I actually start doing some tests on it. And first what I'll do a speed test from down here, and then I'll go upstairs and we'll do a speed test from up there, where I normally get a reduced Wi-Fi signal from the router, which is down here. Okay, so I've let it reboot after the firmware update, and I've got back on the dashboard, and it's all connected to the internet now. So I can see I've got good status, and I've got one device attached, which is my phone, and there's one satellite attached. So what I'm going to do now is I'll run a speed test on my phone, and then we'll go upstairs and I'll connect upstairs, and we'll have a look at some of the options and configuration options you've got, and I'll do that from my laptop. But let's check the speed now. Okay, there's the speed. So I'm getting 37 meg, and that is probably the maximum I'm going to get. because I've got about 50 meg broadband here, and on Wi-Fi, that's probably the fastest I've ever seen Wi-Fi from a phone actually. So I'm getting the 50 meg that the ISP provides, and in the past on the other routers I've got less, and even on Sky's own router, which is the one that's connected directly, I've got a little bit less as well. In fact, let's back that up with a test. Okay, that is the Sky router, which has the 40 meg connection. So you can see, using just the standard Sky router, I'm not getting the best throughput, and it does vary, to be fair. I've seen it go faster and I've seen it go slower, and if I run it again, it might go a little bit faster. But you can see that the best performance is actually going direct to here, which doesn't surprise me. Right, so having done that now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to relocate up to my desk upstairs, and we'll have a look what it's like when we're connected to the extender. Right, so I've connected up now. There's a satellite device behind, and I'm connected up now. As you can imagine, we're behind, we've got full strength, but that's really the beauty of these. You place this somewhere, like I said, up a floor or a distance away, and the two talk to each other, and you still got, and then that means I get a great connection. There's my router downstairs. See, I've not got full strength, and I have on this one. Right, let's have a look at some of the configuration options. As you've seen, I've set everything up, and it was pretty straightforward, but there are other things you can do with it, and I'm going to log into this device. Here's the interface. I've got good connection, I've got wireless enabled, got one attached device, satellite, which is the device here. I've not got guest enabled or parental control. Let's have a look at this. Guest network, the idea being that is you can have a separate password effectively for your guests, and so someone comes to your house or your business, you give them, they ask for Wi-Fi, you give them this one, and they're not on your main network. You can choose whether you allow guests to see each other or not, so by default with that not ticked, it means each guest is isolated, which is probably the best way of doing it. You don't want people, especially if you were doing it in a public place, you don't want people seeing each other's devices on a guest network. So that's good, you get those options. Parental controls, you set them up with Netgear, and you can set boundaries, and there's special applications for that, so probably best to have a look at Netgear's resources for that. But basically you can set up hours, active hours, block site, unblock sites, and you all do that through Netgear's configuration apps. And I think the nice thing about this is that it's the same setup no matter what router you've got, so you do that independently effectively, and probably best to look at Netgear's setup for that. I'm not going to enable that at the moment. See, here's some other settings. I can change the ID, you can see the channels that it's using, and pretty straightforward. I'm on the basic settings here as well. On the internet side, I'm getting it's DHCP in, so it's getting an address from my Sky router in this case, and then you get, see, we're on the 192.168.1.1 range here, so all these devices are going to get 192.168.1, and then they pass through my Sky router to go out to the internet. Over here on the advanced settings, you can play around with a few more options. You can go through the setup wizard again. You've got more configurations for the internet settings, and in the advanced settings that we've come to now, you've got some extra stuff like access control, so you can turn on access control, so you can have all devices blocked by default, and then you can give them access, or all devices have access by default, which is the mode we're in now, and then you can block them. So I could kick off this surface, tick that and block it, and then that device can't go on. So it's up to you which way around you want to configure that. You can block sites, so if there's sites you want restricted, then you can do that. So you can block sites containing keywords and things like that. It's kind of a parental control really, but you can choose what to do on that. You can block services, so that's if you know about ports and routing, then you'll understand that you can block certain things. So I don't think an example, you could block web browsing, for example, by blocking port 80, which is what the web used by default. So you could block something like a gaming ports or some peer-to-peer type connections. You can even schedule when it's in use, so you can make it only work at the weekend. Quite handy for your kids. Get them going on during the week. I'm not sure that'll go down too well. And you can set up email alerts when the log file is full. You can set up email notifications based on the blocks that you've configured already. And you can also back up the device, and you can update the firmware. It does support some advanced features like access point mode, router mode, so if you can use it just as a wireless access point, and that way you connect to your existing network and you're just using this as an access point. You can set up port forwarding triggering, so you can expose a port or another device, so you could have like a gaming server and you can use this to configure that. You can use dynamic DNS through a provider. Now let's see which ones are supported. So you can use Netgear or NoIP or Dyna.com. Useful if you've got like a home server or something like that and you want to always have that available from the internet. You can have a fixed IP or a dynamic DNS, so you always know where your home server is located, even if your ISP changes your home address. It looks like it connects a VPN as well, so you can set up VPN. Very handy. For a business point of view, or even from your personal point of view, you can set a VPN so that you effectively can get on your home network using this as well. You can have some static routes, and you've got remote management. Let's have a look on there. So you can enable a remote management from external, and we've got UPnP support. And you can turn that on. That's on there. There's a speed test, and sort of 36 meg. So we're getting exactly the same speed here as I was getting when I was downstairs. Now that may not always be the case. When I was using that Sky one, even downstairs it wasn't as good. But as I've come further away, that signal reduces, the quality reduces. You get a slower transfer speed. So it has actually made a big difference, and I can certainly see from. If you've got a large few story house, you can place one in the middle, one where the ISP box is, and you've got that nice wide spread of network ranges. So a really good device. I should perhaps give you a couple of specs before we finish off. A couple of specs to finish off. It's ACE 3000. That means it supports 1733 plus 866 plus 400 megabits. Simultaneous Tri-Band WiFi, BGN 2.4 GHz and AN and AC at 5 GHz. It's got 4 GB of flash, 512 meg of RAM, 6 high performance antennas, implicit explicit beamforming for the 2.4 and 5 GHz bands, MU-MIMO capable for simultaneous data streaming, and you saw those 4 Gigabit Ethernet ports as well. And I think I should check. Yes, here we go. We've got ports on the back here of the extender. What does that mean? Well, you can plug a device that hasn't got Wi-Fi straight into here, and you've got that full access. So you saw that 40 meg access direct through here. So you could plug it into your Xbox or which I know it's got Wi-Fi, but if you want faster access, you've got there, or any kind of device that doesn't have a laptop that's got poor Wi-Fi signal, or even a desktop, you plug it straight into here and you've got that full connection. So a really impressive set of devices. It's not cheap, about 400 quid, so you're paying for the quality, but what you're not getting a cheap access point, you're not getting a cheap extender, you're getting a complete solution for your home or your business with the access point and with the router and then the satellite unit. You've seen the speeds that I'm getting to, impressive speeds. It's a complete solution. It's not a cheap solution, but nowadays, even if you're at your home, you've got family, everyone's got Wi-Fi on the devices. Even you get friends and relatives around, they all want internet access, and you need a device that's capable of delivering that nowadays. And with Netflix streaming, Amazon streaming, everybody wants full speed all the time, and this is a great solution, and it's well worth checking out if and it's well worth checking out if you've got those requirements. Like I said, it's around 400 quid, just under, on Amazon when I checked earlier today. So thanks for watching this video. If you've got any more questions, you can email me, ian@thedigitalifestyle.com. Under 400 quid, very solid network performance, sophisticated home network.